Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much for allowing us to hit your screens again with The State. It's the start of a new week, and this week promises to be very much educative as well as entertaining. This is The State, where we bring you all the issues surrounding us, the issues that bothers you, and that bothers me, and that bothers the nation at large. But this program is proudly brought to you by the Christian Service University located in Kumasi. Remember that the admission for the next academic year is ongoing, and so grab your forms. If you qualify, you'll be admitted into the school. You can go into nursing, midwifery, theology, you can do business administration, you can do communications, you can do human relations, and a lot more. CSU has a lot of courses for you, and so just grab your form, go through the courses on their website, and if any of them appeals to you, you can pick up your form, fill it up, and then submit. If you qualify, you'll be admitted into the school. Thank you so much for allowing us hit your screens. We'll take a quick 10. We'll return, we'll bring you the details of what we'll be discussing later today.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246 275375, 0240 154825, or 0244 596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odenaho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
All right, and so welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us on The State. But this is the time where we bring you an executive summary of what we'll be discussing later with our guests. Today is all about strike. You cannot talk about strike without talking about the National Labour Commission. You cannot also talk about strike without talking about the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. But this is labor unrest, but when we talk about strike, what does it mean? And so strike is a work stoppage caused by mass refusal of employees to work, and strike usually takes place in response to employees' grievances. And so usually you realize that these are some of the issues that are being raised when we talk about strike. But on the note of strike, there are a lot of issues surrounding it, and then you take a look at what has been happening over a period, and from January you realize that a lot of strike actions have taken place. You realize that it took place a couple of times. Labor unrest have gone up in a lot more places than we anticipated. SITAG is also having their own side of the story. You go on to some University Teachers Association, they've also striked and all that. So there are labor unrest here and there. And so today we are going to delve deeper into what causes these labor unrest and what the National Labour Commission stand is on this, and what they're actually doing to save this situation. And so you join us, you stay behind the television set, just sit down, relax as we bring our guest on board, and then we'll also bring you our topic that we'll be discussing later today. Thank you so much. We'll take a quick break. We'll return with our topic and our guest.
mi fie Christian fie mema mi kun aye Christiani na me mofra aye Christian fo mema mi fie aye Christian fie. Ban papam eye dwumadi a ekoso ewo WTV so. Kasa afa ekwan a ye tete ye mofra. Ekwan a ye befa so ama ya ware ayefe ne ya ware edimu. Efie entete anase efie siesie ene efie nkomodie mu nso yenya ento nchen. Into me to sa frɛ se hwɛ WTV na niema pa bebre ewo WTV so enwumpa enkomodie papa eniema pa ebeboa me ne omienu ene ye fie koso ara na hwɛ WTV.
All right, and so welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us here on The State. My name is Miss Na. Today we are discussing labor unrest, assessing a prevailing situation in Ghana and the available remedies to these situations. And I have been joined by 𝗟𝗓𝗪𝗘 who is the head of public affairs for the National Labor Commission. So he is going to help us delve deeper into the labor unrest across the country and the reasons for that and what his outfit is doing to solve that menace. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Na. It's been a while.
Oh yes, some months, yeah. So it's all good. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. So let's start off like this. Tell us what the National Labor Commission stands for.
Thank you so much.
All right.
First of all, I would say that the National Labor Commission is an agency of government,
okay,
which came into operation in the year 2005. And it is the Labor Act that brought the National Labor Commission. You know, the act was promulgated in the year 2003. Okay. And so we have the Act 651 of 2003. And under Section 135 of the Act, it talks about the National Labor Commission, which says that there will be an agency called the National Labor Commission. And the purpose of the commission is to see to the resolution of labor disputes and labor unrests, and to put in measures to ensure the resolution of labor disputes.
Okay.
Be it from the employer, the employee. The commission is there to ensure that it resolves such matters when it comes. The only agencies or institutions that the National Labor Commission does not go into their matters are the security services. That is the military, the police, fire service, immigration, customs, excise and preventive services, the Bureau for National Investigation, and so on and so forth. They are the only institutions that the Commission does not handle their matters. They are regulated by the Security and Intelligence Act of 1996.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so long as you've gone into your mandate, what are some of the cases that you review at your end?
Well, any issue that is labor related,
okay,
any labor dispute, the commission is there to ensure its resolution. Be it from government, from private individuals, from paragovernmental institutions.
Just paint a picture of how it is like, some of the cases.
Okay. So, on individual cases, for instance, and I will say that that is the most dominating cases that comes to the commission. Mostly, the cases that comes are in areas of termination. I will say that since the establishment of the commission in 2005 till date, majority of the cases, about 75% of cases that the commission have resolved or have come to the commission on record are all on termination. There are a few cases that we have, or there are a few instances that we have cases coming on dismissals and other unfair labor practices, on strikes, on benefit, end of term benefits, and so on and so forth. But majority of them are mostly on issues of termination.
So how do you receive these cases? Do you go out fishing for them? Do they come to you? How does it get to you?
Well, most of these cases that we resolve are issues that comes in from the, or are brought to us by the individuals that are involved. There are instances that employers walk into the commission to come and complain about their workers.
You mean individuals?
Yes.
Okay.
There are instances they come, they report to us that this particular employer of mine is doing this and that I'm not too comfortable with. Can you help me resolve it?
Okay.
And so such instances we write to the individual to find out what the issue is about.
You don't
and
do
we invite
investigations?
them. No, we do all these.
Okay.
We have a research department.
So
that
before you write the
conducts
letter,
investigation into such matters that needs to be investigated into.
Okay. So before the letter is written to the person?
Yes.
Okay. You do the investigations before the letter?
No. The investigation is done as and when it is needed. The reason is there are instances that a case can come to the commission and looking at the veracity of it, there will be no need to carry out an investigation. What matters is for the parties to appear before a hearing process. And see, there are 3 steps in addressing concerns at the commission. The first is the facilitation, mediation, and arbitration. See, as part of the functions of the commission has a database, in the country. The commission has records of mediators and arbitrators in Ghana. So therefore, if there is any case that needs to be addressed through the use of mediation or arbitration, if the process starts with the commission, like through the facilitation, which marks the beginning of the hearing process, if we are unable to resolve at facilitation, the facilitation process is handled by the Industrial Relations Department of the commission. If we are unable to resolve it at that level, then it progresses to mediation. The mediation, we give you the list of mediators and you will select a particular individual. Your employer will also select a particular individual that he wants him to handle the matter.
So you have a list of persons who sit in as
Most
mediators.
exactly.
And where are these people coming from?
Well, they are individuals who are trained to handle such matters.
Trained by who?
Well, we have quite a number of institutions that trains mediators and arbitrators in Ghana. Yes. So we have the Paralegal, Institute of Paralegal also. All these institutions train such persons. Yes. And so we give you the list and then you go through.
How many are you supposed to select?
Well, it depends. Some will choose an individual. And others may want 2 people to handle their issue. See, with the arbitration and mediation, it's fee paying. It's only the facilitation process that you don't pay anything.
So that's the first process?
That is the first process.
You don't pay?
Yes. That one is handled, is bought by government. Because it is handled by staffs of the Industrial Relations Department.
So your own staff?
Yes. So that one, you don't pay anything. If we are able to resolve it at that level, that is perfect.
How long should that take?
Well, it depends. See, when parties are amenable to settlement, it doesn't take time. We are able to handle and get it resolved early. But there are certain times that it will drag. The back and forth of it. You know, the judicial process. Mind you, the Labour Commission is a para-judicial institution. Yes, so it depends on how the processes will go. If after 1, 2, at most 3 hearings at facilitation, and we are unable to see the head and tail of it, then it means that the matter will have to be deadlocked. If it is deadlocked, then it means that it can no longer be handled at facilitation. It will have to move to the next level, which is mediation.
Okay.
And with that, the mediators are there to guide the parties. They do not take decisions for the parties.
Who are the mediators? The same persons you have chosen
No,
from the list?
the mediators can be anybody.
Okay.
People who have the expertise in that field or in that area.
Who chooses them?
That is why I say we have the list of it.
Okay.
So therefore, if you can even become a mediator if you are trained, and then you want to be on the database of mediators in Ghana, you only apply to the commission. You bring us your certificates, we go do the background checks and everything. If you are merited, we put you on the list. We put you on the list. And we take them through trainings also, so that they can become conversant with the processes of the hearing.
Okay.
See, there is one thing studying and there is one thing practicalizing it.
Okay.
So we take them through training, and then we now start to give them cases to handle. You see, so we give you the list and you choose who should be your mediator. For instance, I have a case, okay? I have a case with the commission, and per my background, I'm a communications person. And so if I'm given a list to choose from amongst the lot, I'll definitely look at somebody who has expertise in communication.
Okay.
Because of what the issue is related
so
to.
if it is health, you'd have to look for somebody
who
has
not
that health background.
always, but mostly.
Okay.
You may have to look for somebody who has the background.
You have all these people from
yes,
these
we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have teachers, we have engineers who are all on our list. So yes, their portfolio is there.
Okay.
Yes, so you will look through, and then the one that you feel can best handle the matter for you, you choose, and your employer will also choose one. So we set now you agree on dates for the hearing with the mediator, and you set date and venue to handle or to go into the hearing. Yes.
If one person refuses to show up for that mediation,
it can always be adjourned. It can always be adjourned, but it is advisable that if due to one reason or the other you feel you will not be able to appear before the commission for a hearing, you give us a notice at least 3 days before the hearing, that the commission will be able to also prompt the other party, or the mediator will be able to also prompt the other party that due to this and that reason, the other party has called for an adjournment. Yes. Or a postponement of the case.
Would that be the same procedure when for example, PSWU, that's the Public Sector Workers Union, brings a case before you? Would this be the same procedure you'd have to take them through?
Well,
or theirs will be different?
Well, it depends. If it is a matter that the union is lodging on behalf of a worker, okay, as an individual worker, it will have to go through the facilitation process.
Okay.
If it is unresolved, it can go to mediation and subsequently to arbitration. There are instances also that the case will come, we will handle it at facilitation, and looking at the nature and the veracity of its content, it will have to be moved straight away for compulsory arbitration.
So the arbitration comes in two forms?
In two forms. We have the voluntary and we have the compulsory.
So when do you call for voluntary one? When do you call for compulsory?
For the voluntary one, that is if after facilitation, you feel that the matter should jump mediation.
Oh, you're not happy with the outcome?
Yes, and you feel that you don't want it to be handled at mediation. Because with the mediation, the mediator does not give a direct verdict on the matter.
Okay.
What he does is to guide the parties, okay? Is to guide the parties. So he used the hearing process, caucuses, and so on and so forth, all to ensure a resolution. So in an instance that a matter is pending before a mediator, when the mediator comes to sit, what he does is he hears from both sides, and he now helps you, guides you. So he may, for example, he may say that, oh, so this matter, if you the employer, if you had been able to do this a bit, I think that this problem wouldn't have come. So why don't you try to go in this arena and we see? You see, he only guides the parties.
And so they decide what to do.
Yes, he doesn't give a direct verdict on what anybody should do.
Okay.
But he guides you to help you to arrive at a consensus so that you can agree on terms and principles, and you put the agreement on paper, so it becomes binding on both parties. Yes, but with the voluntary arbitration. Okay. With the voluntary arbitration, that one too, we give you the list of arbitrators, and you select amongst them the one who you want to handle your case. Your employer will also select one or two. And now if we look into it, let me say this. With the mediation and arbitration process, if you select the individuals to handle the matter, and we go through your list that you have brought, and we do not see any names that are the same, then it means that the commission will have to choose for you. So assuming there is a problem between you and I, you are the employer, I'm the worker, and it will have to go through a mediation process. The commission has given us lists, we have chosen amongst the lot, and we bring the names back to the commission, and they look into it, and there is no particular name which both of us have chosen. There is
so you are
no
saying that
particular
both of us should choose the same person?
Yes. No, we give you the list, and you will choose.
So if I choose, if I choose Prince and you choose Ima,
yes,
you would have to. The commission will have to come back and choose for us.
Yes.
Why?
The reason is the two of you have not chosen a common person, and so there is that common person. Yes, there is that probability that you will say that the commission have agreed on the other parties choosing individual to handle the matter. And that one too can bring about another litigation. And so we give you the list. If you are able to choose among the, so like I explained earlier, when you look into the list, the expertise are there of any individual that is there. And so going through it and seeing, I use myself as an example of a communications person. Going through it, and I choose somebody who has a communication background that I personally know. And my employer also chooses somebody who has a communications person background, and he knows. It means that that particular person, no, it is not. It is not.
Okay.
So that particular person will be chosen or will be accepted by the commission to handle it. It means that both parties have confidence in that particular person to handle their matter for them.
Oh, that's the conclusion of that.
That is it.
Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at this. What happens between government
and the same applies to arbitration also. The arbitrator too is chosen through that same process.
Okay. Yeah. Now let's come back to what happens between government and its employees. How do you handle those cases? Okay,
so with issues of government and its employees, see, mostly it is either the employer coming in to lodge a case.
And who is the employer?
The employer in this instance is the government. And the worker is the employee. And most often, it can come in two folds.
Okay.
It's either an individual lodging a case against the employer, who is the government. And you see, it's not only government that has, but with this, you are asking me specific questions. So let me give you a specific answer.
Okay.
You see, so the worker can come and lodge a case against the government, who is the employer. And the union, okay, can also come and lodge a case against the employer, who is the government. So as and when it comes, in instances that it is a union which is lodging a case against the government, and considering the nature of the issue, we feel that it cannot be handled at facilitation level or mediation or arbitration. It will have to go to compulsory arbitration. That one, we don't waste time on it at all.
Okay.
So it moves straight to the compulsory arbitration. And with that, it is the 7-member panel of the commission who handles it.
Why 7?
The 7-member panel, yes, is an odd number.
Yeah.
So nobody can influence the other.
Okay.
Yes, and with the 7-member panel, you see, I always say one thing, that the commission in Ghana, if you take the Supreme Court, okay, if you take the Supreme Court, I will say that it is the Labor Commission, hearing process, that is second. Some people will dispute it.
Is it because you always
some
have
people will
odd
dispute?
numbers?
Yes, some people will dispute it.
Okay.
But it's in the Supreme Court that you will go and you see that many number of judges sitting on a case. But when you come to commission, you will see that too. Another 7-member panel with one person being the chair.
Out of the 7?
Yes.
Okay.
And with the 7, the composition is we have workers' representatives on the 7.
Okay.
Government has its representatives on the 7.
Who are government representatives?
Employers have their representatives on the 7.
Okay. So
and one individual
who is a neutral person. So the person comes from neither here nor there.
No, becomes the chair.
Okay.
Yes. And let me say this. Employers have 2 representatives.
Okay.
Government have 2 representatives.
Okay.
And organized labor also have 2 representatives. And always, the employers and the organized labor chooses or appoints someone to become the chair. In the time that a chairperson is being chosen, government doesn't have a voting right.
Okay.
So the 6 who vote to bring somebody to come and chair, government does not vote. It's only 4
that vote.
Yes, and the 4 is the 2 representatives from employers and 2 representatives from organized labor. Government does not vote.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And so with the 2 representatives from government,
yeah,
who form that representatives?
Is the government.
Who and who exactly? And fair wages and salaries?
No.
Okay.
You see, the 2 who comes to represent government, or the 2 who are appointed, and let me say this, the 7-member panel, when they are nominated, it is His Excellency the President of the Republic that swears them into office. They take the oath of office and oath of secrecy in the by the President, after which they now come to start their work. And so after the voting process, the one that they chooses now becomes the person who will chair. Yes, that is how the process goes.
As of today is 2/31. Today is the 29th day of July.
Yeah.
How many cases do you have concerning government, involving government and public sector workers union? I mean, all workers and government. How many cases do you have pending?
Currently, I would say we do not have more than 10 cases.
Not more than 10?
Yes. Pending,
can you mention?
Pending before the commission.
Can you mention some of the cases?
I may not be able to have all of them offhand, but I can mention a few of them.
Okay.
𝗧𝗵𝗏 issue is pending, as you have mentioned. 𝗧𝗵𝗏 issue is still pending before the commission. We have UTAG, University Teachers Association of Ghana. Their matter is also pending before the commission.
Okay.
We have the 3 teacher unions that embarked on a strike earlier this year.
Yeah.
That is the Coalition of Concerned Teachers Association, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, and then the Ghana National Association of Teachers. That trial, their case is also pending before the commission.
So that makes it 3.
So these are some few that I can offhand mention.
Okay. Now let's take a look at the UTAG one. UTAG one has been pending for a while. Yeah. Why have you not gone through the process that you earlier, aforementioned procedure? Have you gone through that? Yes,
we have done that. In fact, all the cases that are pending between the employer and the government, all of them have been heard. But you see, it is a process, okay? The hearing of cases is a process. You know, the wheels of justice grind slowly. Yes, but then we will still get there. And so, as it is now, there are a number of times that we have met with them. There are some progresses that have been made, and they come back to report to us. You see, when they come, what usually happens is that after hearing from the complainant, we also hear from the respondent. There are instances that government...
So you hear from government and
yes,
then you hear from...
Yes, but there are instances that government is also the complainant.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Which of the 3 cases you have mentioned where government is the one who has come to lodge that complaint?
I think that was on the issue of the 3 teacher unions.
Okay.
Yes, government. I think government was the complainant in this instance.
But they have called off the strike.
Yes, okay. They have called off the strike.
Okay.
You know, whilst they came, the commission heard them, and then we determined that the strike was illegal. So they needed
I'll come back to the term that
they
you
needed to
continue
call off
using.
the strike.
The illegal,
okay, so that they go
okay,
to the negotiation table and address their concerns.
Okay.
Yes, so they had no other alternative than to call off the strike. The teachers go back to classroom and they go to the negotiation table. You see, in the Labor Act, which I'm holding, the Act says that you can't be on strike and be negotiating. If you are on strike, you cannot be heard. You cannot be heard. So if there are any concerns, you will have to go through the processes.
Are you saying that their concerns are not genuine? Because probably they may have come to you 1, 2, 3 times, just as you re-enumerated the procedures that one has to go through. You've mentioned they've gone through all the 3 procedures, and yet their issues are pending. Don't they have the right to strike? And then again, you come back and tell us through news items, through news articles, that the strikes are illegal. Explain that to us.
You see, there are processes and steps within which one can embark on a strike, or a group of people or workers can embark on a strike action. What the labor law says is that you can go on a strike. Strike itself is not an illegal activity. Strike itself is not an illegality. Strike is very legal, but it depends on the process with which one goes on a strike. See, let me say this before, there are quite a number of times that workers feel that embarking on the strike will bring to an end the problem that they are having, but I beg to differ. It is not.
Are you saying that most of the strikes have been brought out what they want?
A strike can only be a means to an end, but it is not the end itself.
So you're saying that the strikes don't bring them what they are looking for?
It can bring it at a time.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, it is a process. You see? And look, declaration of strike is even dangerous and stronger than the strike itself.
So do you make arrests when
you declare, or when a union declares that they want to embark on a strike?
What do you do then?
That one is even serious than the strike itself. So when we hear it, we immediately write to the parties and summon them before the commission. You see what the labor law says?
Do they come?
What the labor law says, when you read section 159160 downwards, what the law says is that if you want to embark on a strike, give the labor commission 7 days notice before you take that action.
Is it working days?
7 days. That's 7 days. The law says that give your employer also a 7 days notice before you go on the strike. So the beauty of that clause in the act is that when you notify the commission 7 days before, wherever you are in this country, we will fish you out and bring you before our table.
Are weekends part of the 7 days?
The weekends are part.
You didn't mention whether weekends or weekdays.
Yes, weekends are part.
So if I should notify you on Monday.
Yes.
So like today, Monday.
Yes.
That I'll be going on strike the following week on Monday. That's it.
Yes.
And then you have to call me within that 7 days.
It means that within the 7 days. So if you are not able
to call me within the 7 days, what
holidays, off days,
holidays are not
excluded.
Okay.
We will definitely call you within the working days for you to appear before the commission.
What if you fail to call us?
We will not fail. It has never happened.
Never?
Yes. Since the inception of the commission, it has never happened that a party has notified us of its intention to embark on a strike.
And then you have failed to call them.
We have failed to call them.
All right.
We would definitely, you see, and we don't always also wait to get the notice from the union before we take an action.
Okay.
There are instances that we are not even notified. They don't write to us. But the law says that if you want to go on strike, notify Labor Commission and notify your employer 7 days. But there are a number of instances that the parties do not even notify us. We only read it in the dailies, or we hear it in the news on TV, like you broadcast at times and we hear, and then the radio stations also. That is how we get the information. So as proactive as the commission is, wherever we will pick that feed from, we immediately write to you.
Is there a clause that states that if they don't notify you, some measures should be taken?
You see, if you don't notify us and you go on a strike,
what would you do?
There are sanctions in the act.
What are the sanctions?
What the labor law says is that if you don't notify the commission and you embark on a strike and there is any damages or distractions at the workplace, the parties that took that illegal industrial action must be held liable. Yes. So if there are damages, you can be charged to put it back in shape.
All right.
You can forfeit your salaries. You can even be terminated. Your appointment can even be terminated by your employer.
Okay.
And they are all prescribed in the Labor Act.
Okay.
Yes.
Before we go on a strike, I mean, before we go on a break, after we come back, we'll talk about the fact that 𝗧𝗵𝗏 is also striking, and some of their salaries have been frozen for this month. We'll talk about that. But before we go on a break, if we have 2 cases pending with you at the National Labour Commission, and then 1 case has still not been heard, but the first one is still in the process of the hearing, the hearing process, can I strike for the next case?
If you have notified the commission and we haven't called you after the 7 days, then you are at liberty to go on strike.
Okay.
If have you had notified us? That's why I say it has never happened before. It has never happened before.
That there are 2 cases before you, one has been called, one hasn't been called, and then they go on strike for the other one that hasn't been called.
So if the cases are 2 and it has been brought, we put them together and we hear it. But if one came before the other, what happens is, since you have given us a notice of a strike, the commission, the noble 7-member panel, will definitely invite you and hear the case. It will not go unattended to.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. But this afternoon we've been talking about labor unrest in this country. A lot has been happening, and so we are talking to 𝗧𝗵𝗏, who is the head of public relations at the National Labour Commission. We are talking a lot about this, and they will look at the way forward for us as a country. But we'll take a quick turn. When we return, we'll talk about 𝗧𝗵𝗏 and then the issues arising from that. Please stay with us.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246-275375, 0240-154825, or 0244-596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odeneho Kwadaso on the Kumasi Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready for another experience of educative, fun, culture, and an atmosphere of worship? Then it's another Yasa season. The Youth Development Ministry of the Methodist Church Ghana is inviting all young people in the connection to the 19th Biennial Youth and Student Assembly from the 1st to 4th of August 2024 at the Pentecost Convention Center, PCC, Kaswa. Don't be left out. Come have an amazing experience.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us on the last bit of the state. We've been discussing labor unrest, and our guest, 𝗧𝗵𝗲𝗦𝗊, has joined us. 𝗟𝗜𝗊𝗘 has joined us. But 𝗟𝗓𝗊𝗘, sorry. But 10 minutes ago, there's an update on the 𝗧𝗵𝗃 story. It says that the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana strike has entered the 7th week, almost 2 months, with teachers defying the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission's directive to freeze their July salaries. The strike, which began somewhere in June 14, 2024, is a response to government's delay in implementing the National Labour Commission's arbitral awards order and negotiated service conditions. In an interview, the 𝗧𝗵𝗃 president, Prince 𝗟𝗑𝗩𝗏, stated that the strike will continue until government signs the agreement, making it a binding document. The objective for embarking on the strike has not been met. The lackadaisical attitude of government should tell you that they are trying to deceive us, he explained. The strike has affected all 46 public colleges of education nationwide, interrupting the academic calendar and leaving students waiting anxiously for resumption of classes. Students have appealed to government to address 𝗧𝗃𝗃's concerns, citing the impact of the strike on their education. And so this is just coming in some 10 minutes ago, and is the updates on the strike. The strike has entered the 7th week, and we are gradually getting into the 8th week. That will bring us to exactly 2 months. But 𝗧𝗵𝗃, you wanted to say something on that. You've gone through the process. You've given them the go-ahead for government to also, consider the arbitral awards and then the negotiated service conditions. Why hasn't it been met till today? I think it's been more than a year. What's happening to it?
Yes. Now, on the issue of the teachers, in fact, anytime I'm talking about issues of teachers, I'm very much careful.
Why? The
reason being that my mom was a teacher.
Okay.
And we are all here today because we were once taught. See, this matter came before the commission. It was heard, and the commission, through an arbitration process, and the commission gave an arbitration award.
What award was that?
Well, there were quite a number of issues that they raised that came before the commission. One was on their frozen salary for 1 month. At that time, I think it was in 2022 or so.
2022, yes. It's been 1 year, 6 months since that issue. Yeah.
Which the commission directed that the employer should unfrozen that salary.
And it wasn't.
And give it back to the teachers.
Okay.
And there were issues about their conditions of service.
Okay.
Which all formed part of the arbitration award that the commission gave to the teachers. And as we speak now, it hasn't been implemented.
Okay.
The commission, after giving the arbitration award, we're expecting that the implementation would have seen the light of day.
How long should it take before the implementation process?
The process usually needs to be implemented as and when the decision is taken. It needs no wait.
Okay.
And in this instance, government or the employer has failed. And so the commission had to go to court.
You went to court?
Yes, we went to court.
When was that?
To seek a court injunction.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, a court enforcement.
Of that award?
On our arbitration award against the employer.
So, okay.
So that
so per your judgment, you are going to have some sort of like a reinforcement of what
yes, because you see, the cases at the commission are appealable.
Okay.
Yes, by any appellate court. And so if the commission gives, you see, when the commission sits to handle case, the powers that are given to the commission is the same as that of the High Court.
Okay.
Yes. So if we give any directive or a ruling on a matter, and any of the parties feel that they are aggrieved, or they feel the matter needs to be addressed or be looked into again, they can go to court for a review of the commission's directive. Yes. And you can go to the appeals court or to the Supreme Court Any court that is higher than a high court, you can go. So in this instance, the commission have gone to court. Okay, the case, in the first time the case was called, that is about 2 to 3 weeks ago. When the case was called
in court,
it was it was adjourned. The judge who sat on the case adjourned the case. I can't immediately mention. I don't have the details. I didn't know it was going to pop up in this discussion. But you can always find out from the labor court of the high court. Yes, the judge adjourned the case for a subsequent hearing. At that same time, we were also in court for an injunction to compel the striking teachers to go back to class. So we were in court on 2 different matters, and the cases were residing in 2 different courts. I getting it?
Yeah.
So the first of it was the court was on the arbitration enforcement, and the matter was adjourned by the judge. And the second one was for the enforcement, or for the injunction, seeking the injunction of the court to compel the teachers to go back to class. And in that instance, the case was heard, okay? And the judge who sat on the case directed that the teachers call off the strike and go to class. Which, as of now that we are talking, well, but
it's also said that
the employer is also supposed to come and tell us that the teachers are still home, which we are still looking forward to that.
So after 21 days, if these teachers don't go back to the
what
classroom,
you are reading, it means that the teachers are still on strike.
This is the 7th week. They're still on strike.
And you see, in this instance, it's not in the best taste of anybody.
Okay.
You see, the teachers will have to go back to class.
But and what would you do about it? Because
the employer will also have to do its due.
Because
but you see,
it's been 1 year now, 8 months.
The problem here now is that one thing precedes the other. Now we have asked you, the teachers, to call off the strike and go to class, whilst we ensure the enforcement of the arbitration award. In this instance, you haven't done that. You haven't done that. You are still on strike. So it makes the issue complicated.
You are saying you are complicating the matters for you right now?
It makes it complicated because you are supposed to be in class whilst we ensure the enforcement of the arbitration.
Now, is it right?
You see, last week, I think Wednesday or so, the commission was supposed to go back to court. But here is the case that the court, that same court that we are going, has also directed you to call off the strike and go to class. But you have refused to call it off. So what locus does the commission even having to go back to court and tell the court that the court should enforce your arbitration award for you? You see.
So you're advocating for them to go back to
We are advocating for them to go. We are appealing to them.
Some school
Honestly, we are appealing to them that they should call off the strike, go back to class, whilst we ensure that the matter, the court, the decision, the arbitration award is enforced.
You see, these same groups, some of them who have gone on strike and all that, have attributed your issue to being in bed with government, and that's the reason why sometimes you side with government, and sometimes, most often than not, you don't even side with them. What would you say to that?
I beg to differ.
Okay.
That is not correct.
Okay.
That is not correct now.
But it's been 1 year, 8 months.
You see, the issue is the commission, like I mentioned, the composition of the commission, section 136. The commission is a tripartite body. It is made up of employers, organized labor, and government.
Okay.
Workers who are the union members or organized labor have 2 representatives there.
How many representatives do you have?
Pardon me?
From your end, how many representatives?
No, they come together. They come together. It's these parties that comes together. You see, the commission is a tripartite commission.
So you don't even step in?
Yes, it's a tripartite commission. It is a 3-body commission.
Okay.
So government has its stake, employers have their stake, and then the organized labor also have their stake. That is why we have 2 reps each, and we have a neutral person who is a judge, who is the chairperson. And in this instance, we have one of the finest former judges of Ghana being the chairperson, the current chairperson of the commission, who is in the person of Justice 𝗟𝗓𝗪𝗘 retired. In fact, he is the first labor court judge in Ghana here, and currently he is the chairperson of the Labor Commission. You see, and aside from him, we have one other High Court judge who is also a retiree, who is also a part. He is one of the government's reps, and we have seasoned industrialists or unionists who are there, and we have seasoned human resource practitioners who are also representing the employer. Are you getting it? And so all these people comes in with a certain level of expertise.
So is government right in freezing their salaries for July?
Well, I cannot say that government is right or wrong. See? And there is a saying that 2 wrongs doesn't make a right. CTAC, you are on strike. The commission went to court, and you were asked to call off the strike and go back to class.
Yeah.
Why hasn't that been done in the first place? See, there is a matter which is currently pending, and we are seeking for the resolution of it. So call off the strike, go back to class, so it will be addressed. And that has not seen the light of day. See, and GTech, who are also their employer, have decided to freeze their salary. You see, meanwhile, there is an arbitration award by the commission,
are we not motivating government
which
in this
needs
regard?
to be enforced? So why are they not also enforcing the arbitration, or why are they not ensuring? Why are they not complying with the arbitration award?
But
which in this instance the commission has already given.
Not fueling government's zeal to still go ahead and not implement whatever that you came up with some almost 2 years ago.
You see, I should not think so.
Okay.
But see, the right thing must be seen to be done. The right thing must be seen to be done. The commission has, in its hearing in June this year, indicated to the employer to make sure it gives what is due the teachers to them. Let me read this portion of our directive on this matter. It says the commission, being mindful of the fact that it is currently in court seeking enforcement of the said arbitration award made on 2nd May 2003.
So this letter was on 2nd May?
No, this letter is on 21st of June 2024.
Okay.
Directs as follows. 1. That Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is advised to take the necessary steps to implement the said arbitration award in respect of all the affected staff prior to the return date of the case in court, which is Wednesday, 26th June 2024. It goes on further to say that the union, that is CTAG, is hereby ordered to take necessary steps to call off strike with immediate effect. Up till now, they are home.
What's the way forward? In your final remarks,
the way forward in this whole concern is that we are appealing. The commission is still appealing to CTAG to call off the strike,
and we
are also urging government to do the needful by giving what is due CTAG to them per our arbitration award. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So this is where we draw the curtains. It's been an interesting discussion. We've been discussing labor unrest, assessing the prevailing situation in Ghana and the available remedies we have. And so we've re-enumerated all the remedies that we can go through to ensure that labor unrest is cancelled or is at the barest minimum. We've been speaking with 𝗟𝗓𝗪𝗘 Jr., who is the head of public affairs for the National Labour Commission. Thank you so much for joining us on The States. This is where we bring you all the issues bothering yourself, myself, and then the entire nation But this is where we draw the curtains. Thank you so much. God bless you for watching. We'll come your way same time Wednesday at 2 p.m. and so keep watching Wesleyan Television. You're out.